What's up, y'all? And of course, welcome to another alternative factuals video. I know this video is probably going to be a little bit late. Obviously, this is Saturday. This video is coming out. I'm going to be doing a little bit more things in terms of what I'm going to be presenting to you guys, but this video is going to be a lot less informative than it usually is. This is more of me ranting, some thoughts, some of my thought processes when I create these videos for you guys, and hopefully you kind of can understand this craziness that goes on in my head that we call thoughts. But before I dive into those deep thinking thoughts about Jennifer Pierce and what we saw in the last episode of Black Lightning, please be sure to like, share, and of course subscribe. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you're feeling. And without further ado, let's kind of just dive into this. All right, so we saw in Black Lightning episode 4, was it? I'm gonna try and remember the name. Like I said, I've had a very long day. I've been up since like 6 in the morning, and I'm recording this is like 8 something at night. So and I'm pretty sure I'm still gonna be up for a few more hours. So basically, I'm trying to do this off the dome, even though my mind is literally functioning at about 30% or less. I'm pretty sure more like 15. But this episode, or the episode 4 of Black Lightning, was absolutely legendary for multiple reasons, as well as it kind of brought up some questions that I had about the series and what they're attempting to do when it comes to the characters, their power sets, and stuff like that in general. So what we saw going on in I guess this new episode is that for the most part, Jennifer is way more powerful than I initially even thought about the series. I already knew she was more powerful than Black Lightning, or they made her more powerful than Black Lightning, which I don't completely understand why, but they definitely made her freakishly powerful. Okay, so I'm gonna try and give you a little bit of information, just a little smidget of information, and then basically we'll move forward from there in terms of what I'm going to be discussing. And yeah, so Jennifer, Black Lightning season 3 episode 4, Lynn's Ouroboros. Interesting. Now, when it comes to Jennifer's powers, throughout the series we've seen she's been a powerhouse. Her powers are very hard to control in general, and it seems like she has a better grasp of her abilities. But what kind of frustrates me about the series is, I've said this in multiple of my Black Lightning videos, and some people agree and other people are kind of impartial about it, which, you know, is perfectly fine. But for me personally, I think it's not really completely fair, where one of the reasons they didn't make Black Lightning, one of the reasons why they made Black Lightning so, I guess, so much weaker than he originally was in comics in general, was because he would be able to solve all of his problems relatively easy. Now, don't get me wrong, the fact that they gave Jennifer, you know, like these ridiculous amounts of power, and, you know, she's a teenager already dealing with a lot, it kind of does tell a very compelling story, especially this season with the whole Agent Odell and him playing everybody. Literally, Jefferson is the only one who knows, like, yes, he's playing all of us, he's playing both sides, he's trying to turn everybody against us. And also, it seems like they basically gave Jennifer the powers of Black Lightning from the comics in his peak form, basically. So for those of you who are not fully aware of what Black Lightning is capable of, at least his peak version of himself in DC Comics, this dude can not only generate and, you know, control bioelectric energy throughout his body and other people's bodies, but he had control over, you know, electromagnetism, the electromagnetic field. He had a genius level intellect. You know, he can do teleportation by transforming his body into, you know, energy, and, you know, superhuman speed. He had all these abilities, and he was OP. Believe it or not, a lot of people did not know that at one point there was an aspect of Black Lightning, or just, you know, a version of him, where even Superman was afraid of him, because, like I said, he can literally do almost about anything short of, you know, reality warping. He can absorb various types of energy. Now, I want to break down, like, the electromagnetic spectrum is deep. This includes, like, ionizing radiation, visible light, microwaves, radio waves, you know, things like that. Basically, he can control all of that, which is why, you know, you can see a lot of electric users or people who have electrical powers, when they have some sort of manipulation of the electromagnetic spectrum, for the most part, they can tap into radio waves, they can, you know, manipulate different forms of light, you know, things like that, to that nature. And basically, Black Lightning was able to do all of that at its fullest capacity in the comics, and then do it with complete and utter control. Now, what makes me frustrated is, like I said, they nerfed his abilities so that way he could not have that whole, you know, issue where he could solve every problem he ever encountered, because he's just that much more powerful than all of his enemies. So they nerfed his power. but they gave the power to her, where we see in this episode where Odell's like, yes, keep flying until you hear a beep. Shorty is literally like in orbit, and then she's, you know, just having fun, like, oh yeah, you know, she's really enjoying her powers. And then we see like she starts absorbing what seems to be UV radiation or different forms of cosmic radiation, whatever it could be. It could be UV. I'm pretty sure it's UV. So far in any of the Arrowverse shows, they have never really explored cosmic energy, at least not that deep. I'm pretty sure in Legends they have, but not to that extent. But I'm pretty sure she was absorbing UV light and then converting it into energy because they gave her his abilities from the comics. Basically, she is, not only is she way more powerful than we gave her credit for, she can literally probably power several cities for at least a week. Now, I enjoyed this episode overall because it definitely shows a different side of each of the characters, as well as it's really telling you that Odell he really ain't shit. He's not. He's just a whole lot of trouble. He's trying to play everybody, and it's gonna come back to bite him. I think Tobias personally is gonna kill him, and then that's when Black Lightning and Tobias are gonna team up. But for the most part, nah. I really think like they definitely did too much when they gave her that much power. That's just way too much power, and then not give it to the person who, you know, got a power up because, you know, well, let me dive into that too. That's a little rant I want to go into right now. So basically, Black Lightning did get a power up, and it's not so much that his body was, I guess, weaker, but the thing was, as he got older, I guess, you know, based on the logic of the show, his body couldn't handle the amount of electricity that he was putting out. Basically, it seemed like his powers are unstable, which is a little weird because Jennifer's powers were always the one that was hard to control in the comics. So they basically switched roles. And because of the suit that the ASA gave him, basically the suit is absorbing, or basically allowing him to conduct a lot more electricity throughout his body, or energy throughout his body, a lot more efficiently. Meaning when Gambi said you're operating at like 20-30% more efficient than the other suit was, basically he's about like 80% of what his original power level was, if you're assuming that, you know, there's a lot of numbers and I can power scale that if you want to deal with it. It's not really power scaling, it's more or less just doing it based off of verbal references that Gambi has given throughout the entire you know, series, here and there when it came to power levels. But in general, they basically gave Black Lightning, and they gave him a power up. You can see his powers are growing, but I really think that Black Lightning should have had that type of power up. If anything, they both should have had those two abilities, because, you know, in the comics, and like I said, I keep saying the comics, but it's just, the storytelling is good. Just overall, I think it's not really fair, kind of cheating him out of it, because his powers didn't get weaker the older he got. They actually kept growing exponentially, and this was confirmed in Batman and the Outsiders. I think, was it volume 1? But yeah, like they confirmed his powers just kept growing the older he got, and his powers were pretty much, you know, keeping his body youthful young, and that's why he was a problem. That's why Batman put him on the Outsiders. Even in DC Rebirth, when they revived the Outsiders, he was the first person he pretty much reached out to, Black Lightning, because when something goes wrong, who you going to deal with? The dude who has the most experience and the dude who's most powerful. But in general, Jennifer, I think, is a little too powerful, and I think they need to nerf her down, or at the very least give Black Lightning a boost, because they need to balance out that power. Because if something goes wrong, if Black Lightning has to go against his daughter, I don't think he could take her. And obviously we've seen in season 1 that Black Lightning has fought Anissa. She lost, and he wasn't even at the power level he's at now. So yeah, no. I think they definitely need to nerf her powers down a bit. It's a little too much, especially there's not someone who can combat her abilities. But you let me know how you feel about this. Let me know how you feel about Jennifer's powers and how powerful she is. And the fact that they basically gave her Black Lightning's abilities at his prime in the comics. And, you know, let me know your thoughts. And if you're new to the channel, please be, oh yes, that reminds me, before I even really sign off, expect a video from Blurred Without Fear. We are going to be doing a collaboration about Black Lightning and, you know, the TV show, the comics. We're going to dive a little bit more in depth to this, because, you know, that's just what we do. And check that out. I'll leave a link down below. Check out this channel, and also I'll leave a little picture to pop up right here so you know what this channel looks like. And to go right back into ending this video, if you're new to the channel, please be sure to like, share, and of course subscribe. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you're thinking, let me know what you're feeling, and I hope to see you later on. Peace out.